Hello, everyone! Yeah, the TERRORCONS. The only TERRORCONs I actually remember are from Armada, which I actually had one of those toys of them, which is the little panther one with the wrecking ball tail. I don't know what I did with it as a kid. Again, that you could say that about a lot of toys as a kid. I sure as hell don't remember what the hell I did with it, though. Either way. Sorry, it's been very hot. I've been drinking a lot of water today to keep myself cool in a way. But I always love trying to bring you guys these videos, so, you know, double-edged sword for myself. Anyway, let's head into this and see what's going on. Remember, the TERRORCONs. Yeah, but one more thing. Watch Chris McFeely's stuff before you ever watch mine. Like, seriously, man. He's doing great work for the Transformers community. As far as I'm concerned. He's doing stupendous work for the Transformers wiki. Because now you can just watch a video about any characters you want to learn about. Anywho, we're going to head into this and see where we're going with the TERRORCONs.
Welcome, viewers, to a special Halloween episode of The Basics, as we take a look at that most bone-chilling, most blood-curdling, most terrifying group of Transformers. The TERRORCONs!
There is a combiner of them? I guess terror is in their name, but they don't really seem Halloween-y to me. Maybe it's just because I've only seen the ones from Armada. But yeah, the TERRORCONs don't really give me that feel of pure terror like they're supposed to horrify. Like, we've seen, like, the monster bots and the horror cons. So I don't really get the feeling, if you know what I mean.
Excuse me.
It's fine. I hope he's okay from doing that voice.
Oh, TERRORCONs. Okay, so, TERRORCON is one of those names that's been used up and down Transformers history to refer to hugely different things, completely unrelated to one another. We're going to take a look at
also
all
birds
of them in this episode, and we'll start with, what else? The original TERRORCONs, who were released as part of the fourth year of the original Transformers toy line in 1987. This five-man team all transform into fantastical monsters and include the gluttonous leader Hunger, a two-headed dragon who can regurgitate what he eats as destructive.
Okay, this is what... Sometimes the goofier names can work, like Hunger. Like, dear God, man, you are... We weren't really trying with that name, but the design, like, helps it. Even though the name is super silly.
Projectiles with a confusing history of different spellings for his name.
Oh God.
Blot, a dumb ogre with absolutely vile personal hygiene.
Where's his head?
A mercilessly savage reptilian bird monster.
Oh.
Rippersnapper, a bipedal shark monster whose self-consciousness manifests as loathing for organic life. And the predatory Sinner Twin, another two-headed dragon who acts as the team's sentry.
That's a dragon?
Together, the team merged to form the giant Abominus, a mindless monster
Abominus
who's
is a good name.
Bot. The TERRORCONs were designed in the style of the previous year's combiner teams, with Hunger forming the torso and each of the smaller robots forming either an arm or a leg, each totally interchangeable, able to interact with the other combiners designed the same way.
Yep.
Despite being 1987 releases, they, and their Autobot counterparts, the Technobots, snuck their way into a handful of late-run episodes from the Generation 1 cartoon's third season.
Oh, so they're the opposite to the Technobots, because as far as I remember, almost every combiner team has an opposite. Like, the aerial bots have, the Stunticons. Sorry, it took me a second there. But yeah, except for, I think, the Constructicons and Brood and the Combaticons. Do they have an equal number? I don't remember them having one. I guess the Constructicons have the Dinobots. I think. Sorry, I just don't know who they would be bound for.
In 1986, in advance of their toys hitting the shelves. The TERRORCONs' introduction into the show was hasty and confused, though. The team were never given an origin story, appearing out of nowhere in the episode Grimlock's New Brain. And in the closest thing they had to a showcase episode, Money is Everything, they were working for the alien Quintessons with no explanation. After the end of the series, they continued to make appearances in the Japanese exclusive sequel The Headmasters, since it aired concurrently with their toy's release, and they returned in 1990 for the Japanese direct-to-video special Transformers Zone. The team made their debut in the Marvel comic, meanwhile, in the Headmasters 4-issue miniseries, in which they were part of a Decepticon unit led by Scorponok that pursued a team of fleeing Autobots to the planet Nebulos.
Alright.
But outside of a brief, minor supporting role in the memorable Marvel UK story Time Wars, their role in the comic was even less notable than in the cartoon, and they were offlined by the cosmically powered Starscream less than 2 years after their introduction.
I need to learn about that eventually.
For the next 20-25 years of Transformers history, the team just didn't have much of a role. None of its members got significant new toys or major roles in fiction, just little nods here and there. And today, even IDW Publishing hasn't found much room to explore the team in its comic books.
I think it's mostly because we have other things that kind of fit the role of monster robots for really anything, as far as I know. Like, we have the TERRORCONS, we have a number of different horrifying Decepticons that are just evil robots. We have a number of robots that transform into horrifying creatures, some turn into dragons, some turn whatnot. I just think that it's amount of bloat, like with some of the combiner teams. Or there's so many of them that I'm not sure they know what to do with them. Doesn't the Decepticons have the most combiner teams? Not sure. Think about it, and I'm not sure, but yeah.
There, they've been shown to be big fanboys of the Decepticon Six-Changer Six-Shot,
okay,
and have been members of the Decepticons since the faction's early days, having once been foolish enough to try and kill Megatron after a failed operation, only to quickly realize the folly of their efforts.
I can tell.
So with that not especially inspiring history of appearances and media behind them, it's really always been the TERRORCON's evocative names and unusual, imaginative, colourful alternate modes that have made them memorable to fans.
Not surprising.
And bestial alternate modes were also the theme of the second type of TERRORCON.
Yeah, I remember these
in
ones.
Transformers Energon
mindless
in
drones
2004.
that ate Energon.
The Energon TERRORCONs were the foot soldiers of the insane alien Alpha Quintesson, but the Energon cartoon and comic each took a different approach to their story. In the cartoon, the TERRORCONs were an endless horde of drones, engineered by Alpha Quintesson with the special ability to handle raw Energon, which they could consume and process. There were 4 basic TERRORCON drone types: the battle-ravaged Jaguars, the dive-bomb Hawks, the Cruel Lock Dinosaurs,
I don't remember
and
these.
the Insecticon Beetles,
Neither of these
all
ones.
little more than animals, and all commanded by the unique TERRORCON general Scorponok, the only one with a spark and a sentient personality. The TERRORCONs were formerly the inhabitants of Alpha Quintesson's homeworld, which was consumed by the planet-eating Unicron. But when Alpha Quintesson seized control of Unicron's dormant body, he was able to use Energon to resurrect and recreate that which Unicron had destroyed. He sent the reanimated TERRORCONs out into the universe to collect more Energon for him, so that he could reconstitute their lost planet, but found his ambitions challenged by Megatron, who eventually seized control of the TERRORCONs for himself. In Dreamwave Productions' Energon comic book, on the other hand, Battle Ravage, Dive Bomb, Cruel Lock, and Insecticon were not types of drone, but 4 singular individual robots. They and Scorponok were former Decepticons who, together with a few other disgruntled comrades, formed the breakaway TERRORCON faction and joined forces with Alpha Quintesson, gathering Energon for him in return for new abilities he granted them via the power of Unicron.
This is very different.
Alpha Quintesson would even later use that power to clone them, creating a massive TERRORCON army like that scene in the cartoon. Though the similarities are probably only a coincidence, the third, most recent form of TERRORCON, introduced in 2010 in the Transformers Prime animated series.
I always thought of in-universe. Like, obviously it's some sort of magical thing, because zombie robots doesn't really make sense when you think about it. Because how can a robot be alive if you can just rebuild them and react to them? How are they a zombie? But then again, that goes into what is really life. I shouldn't get too philosophical here. Let's be honest here, I'm probably not the most qualified to answer these style of questions.
Also took the form of a mindless army, which, just like the Energon cartoon's TERRORCONs, also consisted of deceased beings resurrected by the power of Unicron. in this case as feral zombies, reanimated by his lifeblood Dark Energon, that could only be controlled by another living Transformer with the substance running through their system. Notable unfortunates who died and became Terrorcons include the Autobot Cliffjumper, who served as Megatron's guinea pig for the process, and the Decepticon warrior Skyquake, who Starscream turned in a failed attempt to create a Terrorcon army of his own. Dark Energon experiments conducted by the Decepticons also resulted in the creation of a different kind of Terrorcon, a horror movie-style living dead ghoul who craved the Energon flowing through other Transformers' veins.
Yeah, I would run from that too.
And whose bite turned victims into Terrorcons themselves, which could only be destroyed by a shot straight to their sparks. The Transformers Prime toy line also played host to the return of the original Terrorcon team in 2013.
Cool.
For the first time, new small-scale toys of all 5 members were released, still able to combine into Abominus. But ironically enough, they couldn't be called the Terrorcons since this continuity was already using the name to refer to the Dark Energon.
That toy doesn't look great.
Instead, this group were presented as clones of prehistoric Cybertronian reptiles known as Predacons.
So they're a
and
Predacon
the individual
team.
members had a few name changes too due to trademark issues. Blot became Blight.
That's better.
Cutthroat became Windraiser, and Sinner Twin became Twin Strike. These names carried over to the Creo building block toy line when a version of the team was released in it that same year, and fans thought that these would be the permanent new names for the characters. After all, who could imagine children's toys being released today with names like Cutthroat and Sinner Twin? But it turned out we were dead wrong when the original Terrorcons were recently announced to be returning in the upcoming Power of the Primes toy line.
Cool.
All 5 bots will be back as full-size action
design
figures with their original alternate modes and names, and able to combine into Abominus once again. Will this finally be the original team's chance to shine in comics and cartoons at last? Only time will tell.
For the Terrorcons.
And those are the basics on...
Yeah, the Terrorcons. I didn't expect them to have such a long history. Honestly, I didn't really expect the zombie bit. I feel like there's a better name out there for zombie Transformers, but I can't think of it. But yeah, what do you think of the Terrorcons? Do you like some of their silly names? Do you think Blight is blurrier than Bloat? Because I do. Blight, I think, is a pretty good name. Anyway. Thank you all so much. If you want more, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, and take care of yourselves.